Hello, Louise. It's easier and quicker to do it like this. I'd rather make a blackboard presentation, but I haven't got time. So, this is what your table will look like when it's got the legs on. This is what it'll look like from the side. Where the table legs meet the table top, there'll be two sort of little chocks holding it in place, and the black line underneath the tabletop, that's like a supporting brace that runs under the middle of it, which is fine. You'll not see it, you won't be aware of it. But it's effectively stopping that massive piece of wood from flexing. Now, my only concern is you see where the arrows are at the bottom pointing away. There's going to be a lot of force and a lot of weight from the table that'll be encouraging the legs to go that way. They will be slightly at an angle rather than perpendicular. It's better, it's like a pyramid, but even so, they're going to want to go in that direction. So, what are your options? Option one is have this sort of leg brace going along the bottom. I know you don't like that. If we do have to have one, as you suggested, we could have one with a kind of a waney edge, which I thought was a really smart idea. Personally, I like them. I think you can put your feet on them. I think they look smart, but I know it's not really what you want. So that's option one. Option two is to have the sort of the brace running along the bottom, actually running along the floor, which may look weird in this picture, but if you look at this, some very famous furniture designers have used it, and it can be cool. I wasn't convinced, but actually, you know, it is definitely not a bad option. Option three, which I suspect will be the one we go for, is this: to have little braces that come out quite near the top of the legs and go into the brace underneath the table. And all that's doing is they are literally physically stopping the legs from slipping outwards. I mean, I don't think the legs would go outwards. I don't think the legs would break. Or not the legs would break, but the supports would break. But if they did, someone would die. So it's important that we see that it doesn't happen at all. So those two black fellas, they are bolted onto under the table brace. But then comes the question, how do you want them attached to the legs? Because obviously they need to be really, really secured into the legs to hold them fast. So you'd have one option, looking at the legs from the end, which was to have probably, I don't know, a 12 mil, maybe centimetre and a half wide hole into which is a bolt. Now, you probably wouldn't even see the bolt. I'd recess it in. So all you see is in the middle of that big sheet leg, there'd be a hole. Now, it's negligible as to whether you'd even notice it because it would be quite high up. But, you know, bolts aren't unattractive. It's fine. It's actually quite a good design feature. But that's one idea. The other idea is that you make a feature of it and you have the tenon sticking out with a peg in it, which is just as reliable, just as hardy as a bolt. It's a bit more woody, you know, it's a bit more wooden. So there you are. Now, looking at the table with that idea, that's what it would look like. Obviously, I've put the legs a bit further to the edge. In reality, they're further in because of Big Ben's massive knees. But you can see how it would look. So those are your options. Let's call them 1, 2, and 3. 1 being the brace, sort of a foot off the ground, like a footrest. Option 2 is having the brace running along the floor. And option 3 is having the sort of cross brace, the corner brace, if you like. And then if you go with option 3, you know, we need to think carefully about how we either disguise it or make a feature of it. It's up to you. But I strongly feel that we do need the support for the legs to stop them from slipping out. I think it's probably safest. Have a think. Get back to me.